This has all been set up so far, and we're an hour in. All right, slow things back down to 1x. So we've got a number of vendors we can work with. There are food vendors, these colorful carts here, street food vendors. We have We Buy Scrap. They buy a bunch of junk and usually the lower cost type items. We have the licensee board, where we buy a salvage license and we can sell stuff to them. We have the gig kiosk that you've seen. There's a fuel kiosk. It's also a general pay your bill kiosk. A ferry where you can hire a small ship to take you out to your ship if you're away from it for some reason. Or if you bought a new ship, that you can have it ferry you out there. There's also a kind of a cargo trade market, which I'm not going to show or go into right now, but that's what this kiosk is for. That's about it on this floor. You can actually get into certain rooms and, you know, steal and loot stuff if you'd like. Same on some of the other locations we've been to. But primarily, we're just going to be in this central area here, going and getting licenses and selling items between these two, buying supplies over here, paying our bill and recharging the batteries in our ship, etc. So again, this is the ship that we have. We're going to go visit it in just a moment. Let's go buy supply. No, let's go to our ship first. I need to do a couple things real quick. All right, welcome to the ship. So our ship, the airlock, our airlock. This is our outer lock and our inner door, and then the station's lock. The ship is made up of a few primary areas or compartments. This design, lots of designs. I can completely change this if I want. It's all completely removable, destructible, constructible, etc. So I could add a wing out this direction or expand it out this way or do whatever I want with it, really. We got some seats. We're going to rip these 4 seats out of here to clear this main central area as our main cargo compartment. We have a battery, we have a heater, we have a cooler, there's an RCS gas system here, the regulator that feeds gas to these thruster assemblies. So there's a thruster assembly kind of sticking outside the ship. So the RCS feeds gas to those, that jets the gas out, and that's how the ship maneuvers. We've got another one set up on this side with the RCS and the thruster. This is our nav seat, our nav system. We'll go sit in and fly the ship. We have a pump attached to an O2 canister currently. And that's about it. We have various switches and sensors and so on in other locations, and we have conduits running throughout. So there's the electrical grid showing where power is flowing from our battery out into the ship through all these wall conduits. The gas mix is, 80-22. As we open and close the lock, depending on where we're at, if it's a vacuum on the other side, we will lose air pressure and lose some of the gas mix. That's what the O2 canister and nitrogen canisters are for, to properly balance our atmosphere. We got alarms, we got switches. There's all sorts of stuff going on that I'm not going to get into too much detail. So the quick and dirty plan is I'm going to rip out these seats. I'm going to designate this as a cargo and hauling approved area. And I'll do that now. We'll go to the N key for zones. I am going to highlight this central kind of lit up area here as 42 tiles, add new zone. We're going to call it main cargo. We're going to give it a green color. We're going to allow hauling items into it and bartering. We're not going to forbid anything, and that's all we need. So that has now been designated an approved bartering area, which means when I deal with merchants, I can have a checkbox ticked that says anything I buy here, please deliver directly to my barter area in my ship. Or I can uncheck it if I want to go into my own personal inventory. And then hauling zone is if I'm salvaging a ship and I've uninstalled a component, instead of dragging it back manually myself, I can just flag it for hauling. And then when I turn on auto task, my dude will run up and grab the thing that's set for auto hauling and bring it to the hauling approved area if there's space. So that'll just help with the automation process. All right, so now that we've got that set up, let's go ahead and go back up and talk to the supplies merchant. We're going to buy a few tools, then we'll get a license, and we'll finally get out of here. Okay, trade. Here is the trade screen. So we've got a buy and sell column or category. We're not selling anything currently. You can also sell things out of the barter zone you've set up on your ship. So anything you have in that barter area, when you click sell, this main cargo spot currently just has a used bulkhead bin that we could sell, but they don't want it. But anything else that I dropped on the floor in there would be listed right here, and I could sell it directly without having to move it around myself personally. Big time savings. All right. We're looking for things to buy, though. In particular, I would like a backpack. I don't see the backpack, unfortunately. No backpack. They're oddly sorted this time. A lot of the times I see most of these things at the bottom of the list. Okay. We do want an EVA suit, but we don't have the cash. It's about 13 grand, 12, 13 grand for the EVA suit and helmet. We want... The Weber laser torch is only 11 grand? What a deal. Yeah, the order of these items is really weird. There's the backpack. Hey, you. I would like one backpack. Alright, everything below that I don't care about. So we've got some tools here. We've already got the crowbar. I need, preferably, an angle grinder. I need to back out for a second. We've got the stir welder, the hacksaw, the screwdriver, and the soldering iron. All right. Back in we go. Let me make sure I go down and get that backpack again first. Okay, so I want the angle grinder and the power drill. We've got the soldering iron, we've got the hacksaw, we've got the screwdriver, we've got the crowbar. Then we're getting GOT tools there. I want a GOT battery charger and an extra battery. Pro toolbox we'll wait on. I think that might be it initially. We just need to cover some basic tools. Once we get done with our first salvage mission, we'll have hopefully a fair bit more money. We can grab up the rest of the basic things that we need. All right, so 1,100. It adds up quick. We'll take that. We still got 7,000. Let's go get our license. All right, so when you right-click on it, you have a direct access here. Here's the full list. So we have a, we can trade with them. That's where you sell stuff. You have to have a license to do that, so we have to buy a license first. The basic license is 24 hours for 5,000 bucks. And then you can buy 72 hours, 7-day, 30-day, 300-day at various increments. So we just want the 24-hour license. Then we can hit trade now that we have the license. And this would be where we would come to sell things also. We could open our main cargo, and it shows all those items I bought got delivered to the cargo because it was automatically checkboxed. So they're sitting there. I could sell them from here if I wanted to, but that's the idea here. All right, cancel out of that. We shouldn't have any fees to pay. Let's go take a look. We'll top off our battery and our ship, so we're paying a tiny amount of money, 34 cents to top off our ship battery. We could refill our various fuel sources here, HE3, helium-3, heavy water, or D2O, etc. It's pretty expensive, and we can loot a lot of this stuff on the ships that we're going to go salvage, so we're not going to do any of that. So we'll just hit submit. All of our fees are paid, and let's head back down to our ship and do some organization. All right, we're going to get rid of these seats and just do a couple things before we get moving. We've already set the zones, so I'm going to go ahead and queue these things up to be removed, but I'm going to do the automated method just to show how it works. So we're going to go to orders. I'm going to say uninstall. I'm going to turn off everything except for equipment. So when I click, it's only going to consider equipment. It's not going to select the floor under the equipment or conduits in that space or so on. So now I can safely click on these chairs. Now I need to cancel one of them. Cancel whatever that one is. Back to uninstall chair. Singular. All right, now that I've got that set, actually, let's do another order. Orders, repair. No. Actually, I think it counts it all the same. I want to repair that, and I want to repair that. All right, so we've got some jobs set up. Now, if I hit auto task, he'll look at those jobs and start working on specifically those. So another button I can press is the X button. This is the condition of parts in the space. So white is good, red is bad. So these two floor tiles, for example, the white one only has a tiny sliver of red in that white bar. That's how much damage it has, the red portion of that white bar, as opposed to that one that's at like 45% condition. So red is bad, white is good. So the whole thing is a barely held together, barely space-worthy, survivable scow. We're going to have to do a lot of repair work to bring it up to spec. But in particular, I want my nav station and my transponder to be fully fixed and ready to go. Those are the most critical, barring, having air inside. And then I want him to remove these seats. So let's go ahead and turn that distracting view off, and I'll just hit auto task, and we'll turn the speed up, and we'll let him do his work. Oh, actually, let's... I don't think he's using the ones he doesn't have tools for. So let's grab up these tools. That's my backpack. We'll swap the backpack out in a bit. All right, so that's all the tools. All right, keep going. So what's happening here is it's currently on ×2 speed. Let's bring it back down to ×1 for a moment. So that's the job he's doing. If I point at him, it tells you in the little pop-up box that I'm uninstalling the seat, and we're training in construction and combat engineering while we do this. So if I right-click on the portrait to bring this screen up, the details screen, if we scroll down a bit, right here it shows training in combat engineering and construction, and it starts at 0, of course, and goes up to 100. When you hit 100, it'll turn white and go get nested in this list of things we're fully evaluated at. When you get to this stage, you get a big bonus for certain activities. So as we do things, we're going to get better at doing things, basically. Now, the X9 multiplier is very important. That's largely determined by my having specific skills tied to this kind of equipment. Could be, I'm not sure on a chair which engineering skill it is, but it's a combination of skills you have that contribute, plus the tools you're using, plus various mood modifiers. If you're feeling grumpy and tired, and various things can affect it. If you don't have EVA suit qualification and you're in an EVA suit trying to work, you'll get a work slowdown message up here that'll be reducing that multiplier substantially. But basically, X amount of work has to be done. There's a bar here on top that is progressing as time passes. And when it hits the end, a certain chunk of this bar will disappear. And once this entire bar is gone, the seat is fully uninstalled. When you repair, it's in the reverse. The bar gets longer because you're repairing it back to full durability. So if we watch this and I turn the speed up a little, you'll see big chunks taken off of this. The higher the multiplier, the bigger the chunk that gets taken out. So you want as high a multiplier as you can get. You want to try to optimize conditions to get that as high as possible. All right, that is now complete, and he's going to move on to the next task. So let's really dial up the speed. All right, all the seats are uninstalled. Now he's working on repairing. So you can see the bar is increasing this time until it's fully repaired. And we're at 10.0 on that piece of equipment. Ooh, we're down to 5.0. 5x on that one. That must either be robotics or... I'm not sure which that falls into category-wise. I probably should have done this before I got my license, but it's fine. Ooh, that one's going to take forever. Look how slow that one's going. Yeah, if you repair them up, you can sell the seats for a few bucks. So if you watch the time down here, not that much actual time is going by. I mean, it seems like a lot at 16x, but it's really just a few minutes. All right, so what's happening now is he finished all the jobs I had queued up. Now, because I have him on auto task, he's just going around and fixing... I don't know if it's random or if he picks the most damaged item. So he's fixing something up here. I can't quite tell what. Might be this wall. This really damaged wall section. So he's repairing a conduit currently. And he'll just keep doing that as long as I let him. He's just moving from item to item, doing repairs. I could also use the system over here to highlight a section for him to work on, and he would go work on that specifically, or I could tag particular items to repair. Like if I was really worried about this deck plate falling out, I could point him at that. So you can make it as automated, as directioned, or directionless as you'd like. There's controls that'll let you do it in various ways that are pretty nice. All right, I've got the primary things done though, so let's bring him out of auto task mode. Turn the speed back down. And we've got these 4 seats. They're not in great shape. That one's actually in pretty good shape. That one's not too far off. Neither is that one. So a couple things to mention. Here where it lists the wear, as long as there's even a sliver of green, it's functional. You want it to be all green. That means it's in perfect condition. And but if it goes into the red, that means it's damaged. This is wear and tear, and you can restore wear and tear, which is tools. You'll notice in the box there it says tools required, Motorc screwdriver and a welding tool. So as long as you have the tools and you have time, you can basically eliminate the wear and get it back up to full condition. Well, as soon as it hits damaged, you have to repair it. And repairs require component pieces. So it might require some aluminum or some mechanical parts or various subcomponents are necessary for repairs. And when you highlight repair, it'll tell you what parts that you require. If you have them nearby or on your character, then he'll use them automatically to do the repairs. But that's the big difference. As soon as it hits red and with no green, it's actually broke, and you have to repair it. Once you've got it repaired, then you can just restore it back up to full durability. So a big distinction there. But the better condition, the more money you make when you try to sell things. In the condition these are in, they might or might not sell for much. Let's go ahead and do... oops. Orders, repair, equipment again. Oh, loose. These are now loose items. They're not installed equipment. All right, back on auto task. Hey, he's got a 9x on repair. Shouldn't take long to get these fixed up. Once they're fixed up, they're in the barter zone. I can just go to merchants and then try to sell these directly. So I got a few other things we're going to do inventory-wise, and then we'll actually get out and flying and head to a ship to get it, get some salvage, hopefully. I am still always amazed how long it takes me to get to that part of the gameplay, which is the main part of the gameplay. We're doing all this setup stuff. It takes an hour and a half to get through it on an intro type of basis. All right. Yeah, we'll get them on the battery too. Probably the only other primary system that we need to worry about. Possible alarm! Ah! That's an incoming ship. Setting off our prox alarm. Finish your repairs. Oops. Alright, so battery's done. Kick out of auto. get back to 1x. All right, let's go get these seats sold, get the battery charged again. I'll do a little bit more. Actually, I can do the organizational stuff while we fly. So let's go to... I love the T-poses, everybody. Why do so many games with animated characters end up with T-posing? How is that a thing? Alright, trade, sell, main cargo, passenger seats. Yeah, we get 229. Sell all 4, please. So we get 900 bucks for our passenger seats. That's not bad for a little bit of time. We don't need them for anything, so we'll accept that. Don't have anything else there I want to do. Let's go back to the thing here. Because we repaired our battery, we've got now got more capacity, and it used some when we were repairing, so we'll spend a whole $5 to get it fully charged. Okay, it is finally time, I think. I'll do my minor inventory management while we're flying. Okay, so far we spent all our time here in the station. You've seen me move between locations in the station, do some gig work, just some jobs, very low-level jobs, delivering items from locker to locker. There were other jobs that take you off the asteroid entirely. So this base is attached to 1036 Ganymede, a 33-kilometer asteroid, around which is the boneyard, the graveyard for ships that they're constantly tugging in new ships as time passes. A large part of the solar system is actually modeled, though. We're going to spend the vast majority of our time here at this location, just in the near environment around Ganymede, checking out, salvaging, restoring, selling parts, and maybe even whole ships. We're going to be upgrading our own ship or buying a new one, fixing it up, getting it all fancy, putting a torch drive on it, driving our way over to Mars or Venus. So there are other locations. Some of them take a long time to get to. You got to have completely different drive systems than what we're going to be operating for a while. But just realize the game is larger than just the initial area that you're seeing. All right, so we need to leave. So we're going to undock from the station. We'll get permission and we'll undock via our nav chair, and then we'll get into a whole bunch of other stuff. So this takes us to this screen. This is a don't crash cheat sheet, help sheet. Don't need it. Yeah. Map controls. All right, so green circle, big rock. Do not let ship hit big rock. That's Ganymede. So the triangle here is the station on the surface of Ganymede. Ganymede rotates, so the station location will orbit, or appear to orbit. It's attached to the surface, but it will spin around as time passes. If we scroll out, you can see the question mark asterisk symbols. These are the wrecks that are nearby and or ships that are flying around nearby. We can only see essentially what our radar can get to, so we've got a dark section back here that we can't see because Ganymede is blocking our view of that area. So if we were to undock and fly around a little bit, we'd be able to see this backside area. It's going to be populated similar to this. Everything is moving, so if we're paused now, I had it on double speed, but everything is moving in space very quickly. So what we're concerned with is relative velocity to each other with these nearby objects. So as long as I'm targeting something nearby, you won't see a lot of movement in real time. But there's various dials and switches I can throw to change how things interact and what we're doing, and I can turn alarms on and off and so on. We won't be pushing a whole bunch of these buttons. Like this whole section over here is for long range travel when you have like a reactor, a nuclear reactor, and a torch drive for long distance travel to other orbital bodies, for example. These we'll do once in a while. We'll flip switches to change what is being tracked and so on. These are zoom buttons, so I can zoom into station. This is the immediate orbital area. I think this goes out to planetary. It's still going out. Inner system, outer system, etc. So, a lot of stuff going on. We're going to spend the vast majority of our time just right in this area. Okay, so first thing we need to do is go to comms on the right. We click that, or on the left to go back to here. So this is the comm screen. This is the docking ring. We're currently clamped in to the docking ring. We have to basically call the control center for the station and request that we can leave. So we're going to hail the ship. And usually it will put them in distance order. So starting here, K-leg is the first one, entry at 00 range. If you have something targeted, the target will be on top, and then it'll go by range after that. But we're going to push this button for the station, and then we're just going to request undocking clearance. There are other options depending on what our needs are. But requesting clearance, wait a few seconds, cleared for takeoff, and now we have green on our docking clamps, so we can hit the clamp button. That releases the clamps. We are now free floating, and we are backing slowly away. So they give us a gentle push. I'm going to do some reverse thrust. We're going to switch back to the nav screen, and we're going to zoom way in. Whoops. Let's toggle the ship tracking again. Get it back on me. All right, and there's us. We are the Branded Soul is the name of our ship. That's the station. Remember, green is the asteroid. We've got to be very careful about that. So it uses a simplified Newtonian physics type of system where you've got velocity and a lot of things being accounted for. It's only a two-dimensional plane, though, so they've simplified it by making it two-dimensional only, which is fine. Three-dimensional, the complexities involved get kind of nightmarish for gameplay purposes. So we're going to zoom out. We're just going to pick a direction to go. There's some ship already over right here. Let's go, I guess we'll go all the way here, and then depending on what we find, we'll work our way up through the wrecks this direction. So I'm going to target that ship. Now that I have selected a target, we've got information relative to the target here. So we're moving towards it at 15. We're backing towards it at 15, essentially. So this is relative velocity to the target. This is cross velocity or lateral velocity. Then we have the range to the target, the bearing, which is front of ship, is not facing them. And then the ETA at our current speed. So at 15 meters a second, it's going to take us an hour and a half to get there at 1x speed. So I'm going to use... Doink. I'm going to use some thrust to change our bearing. I'm going to bring the nose of the ship around to 0 degrees, aka 360 degrees. Whoops. I need to back the time speed down so I can do this in smaller, easier to control increments. I want it on 360 or as close as I can get to it, so that's good enough. That means our nose is pointed pretty much directly at our target. Next, we're going to get rid of the cross velocity, which it's already gone. We're at 0.2. There's almost no cross velocity. Now we're going to increase velocity, and I'm using the WASD keys for all of this stuff, and Q and E. So, pressing W, we're executing a burn. Now, a couple things to note. If you watch the face of our guy, when I burn, he gets pretty unhappy, and you'll see this bar go up. That's because while we're accelerating, he's experiencing G-force load. We have a throttle over here. I can bring the throttle down so that when I burn, it doesn't burn as heavily. And we can see we get up to 1.17 G in the accelerometer while I'm burning. I'm going to drop the throttle until when I'm holding the key down, it's right about 1.0, 0.99. Good enough. That minimizes the stress on him. Still gets us pretty good velocity increase and decreases, but you can adjust the throttle basically to save heavy pressure on your poor dude. We're frail. We're fragile. We got low bone density, low musculature, bad blood. We got a lot of problems. So, yeah, now we're going 77. It's going to be an 18-minute trip to get there. Let's go ahead and get our velocity up to about 100. All right, we're at 100 velocity. We're down to 13 minutes for an ETA. When we get within 500 range, we're currently at 883 kilometers. When we get to 5 kilometers, we'll start to get proximity warnings, messages, and that's when we can switch over and request docking and line up on the docking collar. So at this speed, if we maintain it and I stay, let's go ahead and bump back up to 1.0. We're now at 1.0 speed. So it's still 13 minutes. It's just time is passing a little faster. But we can go do other things while we're waiting. I'm going to go ahead and slow boat, and we'll do some things in the cabin with the time that we have before we arrive. So we can go ahead and switch out of here. Oh, wait, one other thing I wanted to do. I'm going to sync my PDA to the nav station. So link PDA. Nav station. All right, so we've now linked our PDA so we can check for certain information from our PDA directly without having to log into the nav station. Okay, let's come up here. Let's do some sorting real quick. So, let's see. All right. Yeah. Okay, I don't really need that other bag currently. Let's put it down here in a locker, I think. Into the bulkhead bin with you. I'll probably get rid of it, but we might need it. So I tossed it into this bulkhead bin. All right, so our cargo area is clear. The bulkhead bin is up on the wall. I can still place items below it on the floor. Some storage systems are floor to ceiling type, so you can't put stuff below them. But these wall bins, you can stack stuff below them. But they have limited storage space, so we're going to get better storage options built in as time passes. All right, so our inventory in our main backpack here, we have all of our tools. We've got a battery charger I want to install. I'm actually going to put it up here in our lock. So we're going to go to inventory, right click, install. When you do an installation, the little thing that shows up, the blue, let me turn off the gas indicator. The blue feet are where your character is going to stand to access it, and then the gold plug symbol is where it attaches to the power source or conduit. You press R to rotate. So I'm going to put this one right here so that the foot symbol is just to my left, and then the power goes into the wall there. So we'll click there. We'll let him get that installed. All right, so got the battery charger in. We don't need to use it currently. Okay, next up. Oops, wrong direction. Access that. All right, so this is the overhead bin right here. So we click on a tool, you can see over here various points about the tool. So it acts as a Phillips screwdriver, so we don't need the screwdriver anymore. It also has a Motorc screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, so it fully performs the function of a screwdriver. So we don't need to carry that around. We'll probably end up getting rid of that. And that's true of a few of the tool combinations. When you get a particular one, it might replace some of the other ones. If we do well in our salvaging, there's a particular item we'll pick up that's pretty expensive that will replace a couple more of the tools, getting us down to just a few that are necessary, which will save us a bunch of space and inventory, which will be helpful. I should talk about this suit. This is a pressure suit. This is not an EVA suit. This has no internal oxygen supply, no battery pack, no CO2 scrubbers, none of that fancy stuff. It's literally just a bag of air that protects us from the the void. If we put the helmet on, in the right-hand side over here, we have 2 indicators for oxygen low and CO2 high. It'll eventually start beeping and flashing the CO2 high at us as we build up CO2 in the suit. That's what will deplete. It'll be a CO2 problem and will asphyxiate. So we have a limited amount of time we can be in this suit with the helmet on. Basically, we're going to have to return to our ship constantly, pull the helmet off, take a few deep breaths, let the suit refill with air, and then put the helmet back on and then go back into the ship. Once we can afford an EVA suit, then we'll be able to do longer operations on board ship because we'll have an internal air supply bottle of O2 that we can draw from and such like that. So that'll cost some cash. We'll get that as quick as possible. But that's what's going on here with our current suit. All right, this is our permit in our hand here. Valid until tomorrow, 8/27. It's currently 8/26 at 15:06. So we've used up a little more than an hour of our allotted 24 hours for our salvage permit with all the things we've done up to this point after buying it. But we'll have to buy another one tomorrow. And we need to keep this on us. So that's going to stay with us here. Yeah. Let's put the light in that hand. We'll keep the bag and backpack just like it is. Otherwise, we are pretty much ready to salvage. Let's just do some general repairs of the ship. I'm just going to turn him loose to work on mostly what he wants. Oh, this exterior light's flashing. Oh, actually, we can fix that right now. We can go out the lock and we can fix it. I think it'll take too long to fix with my air supply, though. I'm going to wait until we get an EVA suit to do external work on the ship. Because I think... How damaged is it? It's pretty damaged. So the damage, the wear level here is causing it to flicker occasionally, which is visually annoying. So we'll fix that up eventually. But for now, we'll stay on the interior of the ship. I'm just going to turn him loose. I'm going to give him auto tasks, let him work on whatever he wants to work on. So he's going to go to work fixing things, improving the wear and tear. Again, if we look at this screen, we can see red is bad. So he's just going to wander around. And if we watch this and fast forward, we can see the color change. Yeah, that one right there. When it's all white and fully repaired, he'll move on to the next spot. And we'll just let it go till, we'll go about another 8 or 9 minutes at, we'll go to 16 speed. I forget what time it was when we set our course. He'll get a fair bit done while we just coast along. Bronx alarm. Pause. Alright, time to go back in the chair. Somebody's closing to us. Yeah, that's funny. No, I guess we are closing on it pretty quickly. Alright, so we're at 3.3 kilometers, 100 velocity, a little bit of cross velocity, and we're mostly on bearing, so we need to do a few adjustments. I'll turn off the button. Instead of muting the alarm entirely, I just cleared the current alert, so that gets rid of the beeping noise so we can make our adjustments. So I need to bring the velocity down. I need to call the ship and tell it that we're about to dock. So let's do that first. So we'll go hail ship, closest, initiate docking. All right, so now we have our approach information and our docking lineup screen. So we're just basically need to get this, of course, into the center of the screen. We don't want to be going more than 100 velocity relative. We want to get our velocity dropped a little bit so we don't smash into it at too high a speed. So I'll drop velocity to like 80, and then we'll just get lined up. And when we get close enough, it'll light up green on the clamps if we're lined up and at a certain range, and we'll hit the clamps button. Alright, let's get rid of some of this forward velocity. It lined up nice and even. Just coast on in. As long as you've got down here, it's showing our bearing, which is almost directly on, and our cross velocity, which is perfect almost. So it just takes very tiny micro adjustments to get and stay lined up when you've got those factors already clean. And any second now we'll get the green lights. All right, there we go. We have docked. First derelict. Clamps on your docking ring engage, and your hull resonates like a struck gong. While your sensors scan the vessel full of data, you close your eyes and imagine the fortune that could await you on the other side. Perhaps you found a racing skiff, a nimble vessel with a lightweight hull pushed around by top-of-the-line RCS package and 4-can Miura Hydra intake regulators. Or maybe you stumbled on a multi-cabin pleasure yacht, an elite catamaran, complete with a full bar and corridors adorned with yards of crimson and cream Van Hummel interiors. Or, maybe and more likely, it's just a dead freighter, decades-old Tetsudo hauler packed with trash and sporting a giant hole where the reactor used to be. This is a junkyard, after all. Alrighty. Whatever it is, we've got access to it. So it talks about a few things here. You can be a salvager, you can be a mechanic, you can be an outlaw. A lot of choices you can make and how you approach things in the game. We're going for the salvager portion. So we scroll out. We have bodies and we have lights. Well, this will be an interesting first salvage. We have humans. Chelsea Ray. Hey, Chelsea Ray. A pirate. Our first dock, and we got a pirate. Oh, my God. I spent 8 hours yesterday. We didn't see a single pirate. We saw one body and not a single pirate the entire time. And now, the first ship we dock with, and this stream, we got a pirate who's most likely killed somebody. Hey, Mackenzie Brown, who is dead. Ah, okay. Chelsea Ray does not have EVA suit ops being slowed down with their work. Herniated disc. Well, okay. Yeah, so I scrolled out so we could get a feel for how big the ship was. And this one, we got stuff going on. So there's power. Theoretically, maybe I have to be on the ship. Is there not power? That's got power. That's the ship battery itself. It's pretty damaged. Or pretty worn, I mean. That's the conduit. That's the battery. Tiny bit of charge left. So yeah, there's a tiny bit of power in that thing. Alright, let's turn this view off. Let's do this. Let's get over here. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, so let's do NS1 create. All right. So before we go too much further, general rule, anytime I'm playing a game that's new to me, I do not want to know strategy advice. I don't want to know where to go to get special things. I don't want to know efficiency optimizations, none of that stuff. So glad everybody's enthusiastic and wants to help, but don't tell me things unless I'm specifically asking a question or I'm having problems with the way a mechanic works. Just a basic function of the gameplay, or I'm missing an interface element, or a screen I can go to get the information I'm pondering, things like that. Happy to receive all that kind of info. Everything else, leave it aside for now. Once I become very familiar with the games, assuming you guys want to keep watching me play, and I'm being entertained, on further playthroughs, I'll basically say, all right, it's cool now, spoil me all you want. But we're not at that point. I like to make my own mistakes, learn my own lessons, be an idiot in front of strangers on the internet. I'm cool with that. All right. So we made a save. Let's go ahead and go interact with the pirate. I don't think there's too much nuance to... yep, she's still there. I don't think there's too much nuance to this, but I haven't actually dealt with it myself yet. So let's do this. We've got this tote I'm going to throw on the ground. We've got our knife we'll put in our hand. I guess we'll keep the light in the other hand. Let's go see what happens when we try to have a fight. I haven't actually had a fight yet, so let's go pick a fight with a pirate and see what happens. Probably we'll get shot in the face or something cool. All right, so we're going to need a helmet. Let's go ahead and put that on. I'm going to leave the power running. We should have mucho amounts of power. Yeah, we got plenty of power. We got 4 hours and 36 minutes of power. That's actually a long time, given how much you can accomplish in short periods in this one. All right, off we go. Let's go talk to the pirate. Oh, I got to go change my roster permissions. Roster, yes, you're allowed to open airlocks. It's a safety feature, especially if you have crew. All right, see a little puff of vapor. Hey, how come the... Oh, never mind, it did. Oh, pirate came to me. Hey, pirate. Well, well, well. Hey, stay paused. Uh-oh, incoming something. Incoming stab from Chelsea Ray. No. All right, things were happening. I didn't realize she was going to run over to me. So right-click and then expand. Oh, that was expanded. All right, so here's our options. We've got melee unarmed quick, melee strike, lamp, slash, tech knife, stab tech knife, dodge attacks, and tackle. Let's try dodge attacks. Reduces accuracy of next incoming attack for a brief moment. More tiring than blocking. We can't be prone. All right, so yeah, don't get... you're trying to dodge. You feel you're competent. She missed. Your dodging has ended. All right. Let's see. Let's try... Shall we tackle her? Let's try tackling her. I wonder if... Is tackle unarmed? I think I got rid of unarmed. We kept armed, but I think I got rid of the unarmed when we were doing character jam. Well, let's try tackling her, and then we'll try stabbing her after she's down. Uh-oh. I am prone. You successfully tackle Chelsea. Why does it look like she's up, but I'm down? You're trained. Oh, yeah, it was part of unarmed. Huh. Stand up, please. Oh, there she's down. All right. Now. Can't be dead, stunned, or recovering. Or unconscious. You can't dodge while dead, guys. Good to know. Good strategy tip. Okay, let's stab with the tack knife. We cut Chelsea's lower chest with a knife stab. So she now has... Did it penetrate? I don't think it penetrated her suit. She's got a nice suit on. So it's going to take some effort, I think, to get through that suit. All right, let's just keep stabbing with the tack knife. It got kind of dark. Why did you turn off? Oh, she's back up again. Hey! Demand surrender. Is she demanding she demands me to surrender? Screw you. Tackle Chelsea. Ah, man. I'm having a hard time gauging when time's passing and not passing, and so on. It says she's prone, then she stood up from prone. All right. Let's just try stabbing with the tack knife. Lacerated. That was kind of interesting. So work slowed due to pain. She's bleeding. Whoa. Apparently we're messing the suit up something fierce. Okay. Debug, fight, fear. Okay. Keep on stabbing, I think. Oh, is she done? Pause. So what's going on here? Did we destroy her suit? Plan to flee. Humiliated, badgered, terrified. Out of range. She is unconscious and bleeding. Blacking out. Did we destroy her suit so she's suffocating? It's a little fuzzy. Well, she's got the helmet still. Huh. Attack helpless. You started it. Good old slow-mo animations. Still not gone. Oh, we're tired melee. All right, let's let some time. She got back up? And she's demanding my... That's so weird. Now she's demanding my surrender again. Okay, I see. More stabbing needs to be done, even if I'm tired. I am weary. Hmm. Um... She's still punching. The t-shirt is destroyed. Ah. We're too exhausted to move. I didn't think that would be the determiner here. She refused to surrender. This armed combat is not going well. Weirdly. Black out already. Oh, she's down again. Prone and vulnerable. Chelsea Ray is recovering. And I'm down also. Lovely. Too exhausted to move. This is a weird fight. Weird fight. She's blacking out, bleeding, coughing up blood, Had her EVA suit stripped off of her. Multiple wound locations. And yet we're both falling down exhausted. It keeps auto pausing. This is the most pathetic fight. Jeez. Come on. Everybody just keeps going flat on their face. This is weird. I just can't seem to get a killing blow, and I just keep falling over. Oh, things just changed. What the hell changed? You're no longer recovering and unable to move for a moment. She stands up from prone. I'm not sure why we all of a sudden got all these choices again. Oh, now we're back to fighting. Yeah, so weird. Last 3 or 4 times I've tried to attack, I've just ended up on my face. I can't seem to do anything other than... And me too. This is frustrating. This is a weird, weird system. And she's out of range again. Fighters, return to your corners. All right. I don't know where she ran off to. Let's take our helmet off briefly. We are covered in gooey gore. It's an odd color. All right, I'm heading back in. Let's see if we can find her. PDA on the floor. Oh yeah, speaking of. Make sure I rename mine so I know which one's which. Lots of O2 and nitrogen canisters. Oh, there she is right over there. Hey, where are you going? No. No. All right, back into this goofy system. Just keep stabbing. How is she out of range? Do I gotta be hugging? What the hell? Now, of course, I've stabbed 18 times while too far away. Dead! Alright, and we're exhausted again. Hey, Chelsea, let's drag the body off my ship. Okay. That was a weird bit of nonsense. That was really odd. Yeah, I know. Shut up, low sensor. Gas check. We're down to 5322. That's fine. All right. Pretty sure she's the only one we had to worry about there.